Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again today. I'm Chef Alex Lazik and I really appreciate you joining us. If you could, just take a second, please, and hit that subscribe button down below. Like I've mentioned, I'm so close to getting monetized. I just need more subscribers. So ultimately my goal is to do this full time. So I'd really appreciate your support. A lot of work goes into making these videos and I would really appreciate it. Today we are cooking one of my favorite things that I used to have growing up. We used to get rotisserie chickens. Now I know you still get rotisserie chickens in the grocery store if you're like, oh, I can't be bothered cooking. I'll get a rotisserie chicken, we'll grab it from the stand on the way and it's easy. They're fine, but there's something about like the way that it used to taste when I was growing up. I think a lot of the rotisserie chickens back then were actually cooked over charcoal, which is amazing. They don't really do that anymore. They've got like this rotisserie cooking practice down pat in the grocery stores that is like, but it still tastes kind of like the chicken's been sort of steam baked, if that makes sense. So it's got kind of like, the chicken's got like a boiled, mushy kind of flavor and texture with a kind of sugar coating of savory flavor. Does that make sense? Like, it's not, to me it doesn't taste like it used to taste. So, having said that, I grew up in Montreal and we've got our own kind of version of rotisserie chicken. Well, it's a piri piri spice blend. And there's places in Montreal that do these rotisserie chickens still cooked over charcoal with a piri piri spice blend, and it is the best rotisserie chicken that you have ever had, guaranteed. Now I'm so excited doing this, and the important thing that we're going to talk about in making the rotisserie chicken is the rotisserie, and we are going to use a charcoal rotisserie. Now I've mentioned these probably before, but we're going to use this a piece of equipment called the rotisir. I live in my motorhome. I don't have a lot of space. This little barbecue, and you'll see it in a second, comes in a tiny box, and it's such a space-saving piece of equipment, and it delivers amazing results. So I'm going to talk about that a bit first too. But stick around to the end, and I've got a #1 top tip for making roasted chicken or rotisserie chicken that is going to take your chicken to the next level. So make sure you stick around to the end and you see my #1 top tip for the best chicken you will ever have. I promise you. So, like, subscribe, all that stuff, please. Please. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna make our brine first. We've got parsley stems, sugar, salt, pepper, garlic, put some fresh thyme in there as well, and then we're just gonna top it up with water and make sure you dissolve the sugar and the salt. Put our chicken in and then leave it for at least a few hours, or you can put it overnight if you like. And this is our rotisserie. It's amazingly compact, comes in this tiny little box, and it's so super easy to put together. It only has a few little parts, and it's so versatile. You can use it as a barbecue, as I said, but also it works perfectly well what it's designed to do as a rotisserie. So that was it. You just put these flaps on, slide in the bottom tray and the grill, and then there you go. Now the most ingenious part of this is when it does act as a rotisserie, the whole barbecue turns sideways, so there's no flare-ups. Have a look. It just tips over, and that's it. The charcoal stays on the side, so it cooks from the side. There's no flare-ups. Amazing design, super simple, and so worthwhile and super cheap. Next, we'll get started with our chicken. So we'll take it out of the brine, give it a good rinse, and give it a good dry. Then we're going to take all those aromatics that we had in the brine, like the lemon and the thyme and parsley stems and garlic, and we're going to stick that into the cavity of the chicken. We're going to cut the wing tips off because we're going to make a little bit of a broth with that, a little stock. You can see also I've removed the wishbone. That just makes it easier to carve. Plus we're going to use that wishbone in our little stock. Now I've got what's called a trussing needle. They're super easy. You can get them on Amazon, but it's the best way, absolute best way to truss up your chicken. So as you can see, I'm sort of jabbing it through the thigh, right around the leg joint, and I'm going to pass it through the other side to the chicken. And this is just going to keep the chicken in a perfect shape. So we'll pass that through. And then we're going to pull a string through, and then we're going to attach the wing to the side of the bird as well. So we'll pass it through the wing and then through the other wing. And once that's done, we're going to tie it up nice and tight. And that will, like I said, that'll give us the bird a really nice shape and keep that wing in, and also keep those legs in so there's nothing flopping around and potentially burning. And it keeps it all in kind of a uniform shape so it all cooks evenly. Very important. Otherwise, you find that you're kind of struggling with it. You can try tying it in different ways, but this is definitely the absolute best way to tie it. So take a couple of dollars, go on Amazon and get yourself a trussing needle, because they're so worth it. Now do yourself a favor and get yourself a good quality chicken. It is so worthwhile. Don't get a cheap utility crappy chicken that's had a miserable life. Go and spend a little bit extra money and get a good quality one. The taste will be so much better. Now, as you see, we're putting the main rotisserie skewer through the chicken, and you want to make sure that you get this as even as possible. So you want that weight distributed so the rotisserie isn't working and it's turning evenly. And so once we've done that, you'll see that it's got this spiky bit, and that'll sort of jab into the chicken and hold it in place, and there's one on either end. So we'll put one that sort of goes into the end of the thighs. It'll puncture the skin there, and there's a little nut that'll hold it in place. And then we'll get the other side and we'll jab that into the top of the chicken, or into the breast, and that'll hold that part of the chicken in place. And again, we'll tighten that nut up. And then finally, we're going to tie the legs up and make sure that those aren't flopping around. So we'll just give that a quick tie. Now what I do is I place the whole thing then over the pot, and you see I've got my spice mix, and I'm just going to dust the chicken and rub it in very generously, because this spice mix is so good. It's called I'll call it a crack mix. It's so delicious. You'll see, and I've got the recipe for that on my website, so have a look over there. And while you've got it balanced up on that pot, you can give it a little bit of a turn, make sure that the weight is distributed evenly. If you have to readjust it, but you want it to be able to turn evenly. So next we're going to get on to making our stock. Now this is what we're going to inject into the chicken once it's cooked. Now I'm just using onions and garlic and some more parsley stems, and I got some spring onion there, just what I happen to have around. Throw a bit of beer in there, or you can put some white wine, and we'll just leave that on to boil and reduce. In the meantime, we'll get our barbecue started.
That's a fire!
I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So once the coals are all fired up, we're just gonna put our grate in and tilt our barbecue over. And then when we got a nice good heat going, we'll get our chicken on. And now you can see there's some adjustable shelves. Just make sure you put it in a good spot so it's not too close to the fire, not too far from the fire, and make any other adjustments that you need to. Now I recommend using hardwood charcoal. I started off with acacia wood, but quickly realized that I'd run out of charcoal, so I needed to go out and get some more, and all I could find was some briquettes, which is fine. They're not the best, but it is what I had. So all you have to do as it's cooking is you drop more briquettes or charcoal through the top of the grate, and the existing fire will light the charcoal. So you can adjust the heat as you go. Now this is cooking just beautifully. You can't actually cover the whole thing in foil. Just make sure you don't cover up the motor, because that will cook it. But you can, like I said, cover up with foil, and that'll increase the cooking time. But I didn't do that. I just wanted to let it cook slowly, because I think it gives a really nice result. So back to our stock. And here we go. We're going to strain it, and then we're going to put it into our big injecting syringe, and we're going to get that ready for when the chicken is cooked, and then we're going to reintroduce that juice back into the chicken. And as you can see now, we're just about done. So we're going to take this sweet baby off the rotisserie and bring it back into the kitchen for the next step. And here she is, looking absolutely amazing and smelling even more amazing. And now that the chicken is done, we've given it a minute just to rest, we're going to inject it with that beautiful stock that we made earlier. And this is such an important part of the process. It makes the chicken so juicy and seasoned and delicious from the inside. So you can pick up one of these syringes pretty much from any good cook shop, some grocery stores, or you can just pick them up easily on Amazon. Super easy, and like I said, such a great step to add to taking your chicken to the next level. Now once you've injected all of that beautiful stock, let your chicken rest 10 or 15 minutes and let it absorb all those juices. Okay team, roast piri piri chicken, Montreal style, cooked over charcoal. Amazing. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this. The smell is incredible. Look, you saw me try some of that chicken breast. It was without a doubt the most moist, delicious chicken I swear I've ever had. If you've not tried injecting your roasted chickens the way that I've done, do it. It's amazing. Like, honestly, you need to do it. But I was sort of saving... Like, honestly, I've got to go because I need to eat this now. Like, just look at this wing. It's falling up. Look at this. Look at it. Oh, you can't bloody see it. But, like, look at this wing. It's like the chicken is just... There's beautiful crust around it. It's sticky, you know, when it's got that... The juices and it's been self-basting itself and it's just sticky with deliciousness. This is... I'm in heaven. Like, and I'm going to eat this because this is a delicious wing. That's just so good. This is just so good. Anyways, you need to make this recipe. Get a rotisserie. I mean, that's half the thing. If you got a rotisserie, great. Don't use gas. It's got to be on charcoal. And Vlad, my friend Vlad, I'll send you a link. He sells these little these rotisseries. Their charcoal is really not expensive, and they just give the best results. And proof is in the chicken. This is so good. Right, I'm gonna be a sad man and then eat way too much chicken by myself. All right, I'll talk to you later. Honestly, this is, you've got to make this. It's ridiculous. Subscribe.